You can't do anything without money to pay for it. Generalissimo Santana says that it is imperative to learn how to make money from my island. The Generalissimo explained that he will teach me how to manage optional tasks, how to make money at the beginning of my role, and how to develop industry later on. Production and transportation are the basics of an island's economy. Understanding production chains, workers, wages, and job slots is the difference between a good ruler and a failure. Finally, I will have to acquaint myself with international trade and foreign imports.
Welcome back, my friend. As you know, there's only one thing that makes the world go round. Money. Sweet, shiny, beautiful money. You want to know how to make more money? Occasionally, new optional tasks will arrive on your island. Such events are marked with a large exclamation point icon.
View will show me where it is, except we'll just close it and let me go looking for it myself.
Well done, Presidente. Optional tasks give you a chance to earn a reward if you complete them. Accept the task to add it to your objectives. Workers are the driving force of our economy. They sweat and toil to produce the goods we sell on the international market. Oh no, this place is empty. There's no one to catch fish. Mines provide excellent profit early in the game. It is best to build mines close to the corresponding resource deposits: iron, gold, bauxite, or salt.
Not really the closest. Yeah. Guess you wouldn't guide me to it otherwise. You could just build it right on top so you're not taking up extra space around it.
Excellent, Presidente. To ensure that your builders will construct the mine with haste, you need to build a road to the mine.
There's that. And no time is moving yet.
All the important information about your financial state can be found in the almanac. Well done, amigo. Currently, you are not making much profit. This will change once your economy starts producing and exporting goods.
It's also important to be able to keep track of these 4 things, because I need a lot of housing and I've got spare jobs. For now. That won't matter. Scenario.
Production doesn't magically turn into money, amigo. The Teamsters transport all resources between your buildings.
Yeah, if you're not making money but you've got good industry going, if you see, this is where their stock is piling up. You could see these stacks get really high if you haven't got enough Teamsters. If it gets bad enough, you can get warnings about it, but you want to manage that before you're getting warnings.
Fortunately, you don't have to dirty your hands to construct new buildings. There are special people for that. Farming is a cheap and efficient way to make money in the early years of your rule.
That's not necessarily true about pineapples versus those. But it depends on what will grow. If I need to make money but my population's growing, I prefer food source ones so that if I get too many people, I don't end up with starving people. They're just eating my profits, literally. Oh, yeah, that's not great for banana. Not so great with the humidity over there, huh? It's more humid over there. Coffee? Oh, good. Decent elevation considering. Ooh. Okay. Let's just do a nice, straightforward feed people.
Workers use garages to travel between their workplace and homes. Some buildings like the mine have their own garages.
But we already have one. Anyway. This is another thing that they will actually give you warnings. This one's overloaded. That's gonna eat into... hug that house. You're less likely to plant this far out. You say you want it there, but, you know, fuck you. Actually, you know what? You gave me enough money to cheat. It costs double because you gotta pay the initial cost again.
Good work. Now, let's take a closer look at how farms work.
So, if you're in a hurry and you've got the money to spare, but need the thing, click build. I'm not trying to cough at you. It just, you know, happens. Yeah, and the crops have different times.
You can change the crops a farm grows at any time. Your island will usually have a couple of farms built when you take office. Why don't you switch one of them to sugar production?
Yeah, banana isn't a good plan for these anyway. bananas are edible.
Well done, friend. Now your farmers will start growing and producing sugar.
Yeah, some of them take longer to get a turnaround time between building or changing and having actual crop output. Get that shit done. Well, you're working on it. Actually, if you just get enough people, you can wait it out.
Once you have your basic economy going, it is best to think about investing in industry. Build a jewelry factory to process the gold from the mine into the much more expensive jewelry resource.
I also try not to build other buildings on top of, like, super good cropland that I'm gonna want to farm on. Because you always end up needing more farms to feed your damn people. But I also like building factories close to their resources so that the teamsters don't have to do as much work to get it from one to the other. Because not actually having production from your factory because it's not going from your mine or whatever, your farm, to the factory. Oh man. It's a shitty setup. And this is actually a bad recommendation. Because this doesn't even have workers. They're not going to have output. So, that shit can sit there and wait. What's this one?
Some idiot has built a furniture factory on your island without supplying it with the resources it needs. You can import a resource you lack for your industry. Naturally, you will have to pay for the imported goods. Each time a ship arrives on your island, it will bring you the requested imports and bill you for them.
Once you've done that, you can also click here and see how much it defaults to this amount. You can see how much that'll actually bring in. And because I don't have more than that, it's not going to send me into the negatives so that you can deficit spend in the game. Importing won't do that. So it'll show you how much you'll actually get based on what you've got. So, good to know.
Now that the wharf is working, let's take a look at the cannery. This place is overstaffed. You should fire some of the workers so that we don't have to pay them.
It's overstaffed because you don't have enough input to justify it all. But, yeah.
Good. Now, close the empty workspaces to prevent people from taking the newly opened job positions.
I didn't mean to. There we go.
Managing your workforce will maximize your profits and minimize expenses.
Oh, and a thing I closed a little fast when I was doing that was it tells you about that, so the pop-up Academy of Science is a thing that requires building a college. Well, actually, it doesn't, but you require professors, so really you need a college to staff it, and a ministry, so you can get a Minister of Education. So there are layers to get those blueprint costs, which are pretty hefty, decreased. Okay. I mean, yeah.
Excellent, Presidente! Now, the Teamsters will carry the gold produced by your mine to the jewelry factory, where it will be processed further.
They're also a big source of pollution. Yeah, an industry is expensive to establish. The education isn't necessarily that hard. What the hell? I probably didn't close down enough background processes, so now, yep, just waiting on that freighter. Oh, this is gonna be weird with this sticking like that with background music. It's probably gonna sound awful.
The trade page of the almanac provides detailed information about exports and imports. You can view the commodity price of each individual resource from there as well. Your island is currently importing tobacco, which it doesn't need. You can stop the import from the almanac's trade page.
Yeah, this means you're importing, just like arrows here would mean you're exporting it. And obviously the flags show who you're getting it from. We don't need that.
Well done. No more unnecessary tobacco will be delivered to our island.
I'm gonna look into whatever background process is causing this, but... So, you always start out importing corn, luxury goods, and uranium. And whether or not I have anything using them, I always go through and shut this shit down. And also turn the import amount down to 0 as well, just to cover my ass in that I ain't gonna be able to afford this shit if it does accidentally show up. If I want it, I'll let you know. I'm not growing a lot of food, so I'll leave the corn thing. Not that it matters. But that's a thing to think about.
Job well done, Presidente. Managing the economy of an entire island is no simple task. I'll scribe down what I've learned from Generalissimo Santana. I have to remember to develop the natural resources of my island early on. Farms, mines, and logging camps. Focus on the most lucrative exports. Roads and garages will maximize the infrastructure and optimize efficacy. Once I have secured a steady income, I must start thinking about industry for even greater profits.
The only way to really avoid that is to go heavy into tourism. Because if you don't get into industry, even if it's just canning food or something, you're not going to be able to make enough profit off of your farming to be able to support a growing infrastructure that gets more and more expensive the bigger it gets. So, having a green island is tricky. Not impossible, but tricky. It's easy to get it up and running if you go industry.
Exploiting the people too much can have dangerous consequences. Generalissimo Santana warns me that I will occasionally have to meet the demands of the citizens, unless I want to deal with rebels and coups all the time. The Generalissimo wants me to study the needs and happiness of my subjects, learning how to manage civic services such as healthcare, housing, and law enforcement may prove useful indeed. Citizen education seems very important as well. I will need educated people to staff my military and workforce.
And we'll get to that next time.